What's up, Hunt fan? What's up, guys? Welcome back to Hunt Recovery, where we just don't look for recovery, we hunt for it no matter how far, no matter how close, no matter how high, no matter whatever, we're gonna go find that joint. Your boy just out here at the mall chilling, you know what I'm saying? And that's kind of new for your boy. You already know my background, how I do, but I'm just sitting here chilling. And you know what, actually, and I want to tell you guys one thing, that summer is kind of hard for me because that's when I used to do all my business and stuff like that, and the criminal activity and being drunk and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And it's like kind of hard, you know what I'm saying, that sometimes, but at the same time, though, it's something that I'm gonna have to get used to. You know what I'm saying? But right now, I'm just waiting on the fam. I got my, you know what I'm saying? They in the mall doing something, so I figure I'll come out, enjoy the fresh air, you feel me, type stuff, you know. But today, you're like, oh, James, what we gonna talk about today? You know, I want to talk about, when do you know? When do you know when you need help? You feel me? Like when do you know? You know what I'm saying? When and like I said, they usually they say, you know, when your life becomes unmanageable. You know what I'm saying? And that's cool. You know, that's what they say. But you know, how do you know when your life becomes unmanageable? You know, that's the real question. You know, that's the $1,000,000 question. How do you know when your life becomes unmanageable? And I'll say, I know when all you can think about is doing crime or doing whatever, you know what I'm saying, drinking or doing drugs or, you know what I'm saying, gambling or whatever the case may be. That's, sorry guys, I ain't gonna stick on me. That's what I know. You know what I'm saying? That's what I thought to myself. You know what? This is crazy. You know what I'm saying? I can't live like this no more. This life is just becoming, guess what? Unmanageable. Isn't that funny? Y'all like that? Y'all like how I did that? But anyway, so you're like, oh yeah, now my life is becoming unmanageable. You feel me? So, at that point, you're like, oh, what do I do now? You know what I'm saying? You're like, oh, well, I guess before we get to that point, I also want to put out one point that, you know, it's a beautiful day out here, and people and things can change. I'm actually walking around the mall right now, waiting on for them. I think they doing something. I don't know what they doing really, but they just like, oh, well, why don't you wait for us on the side of the building? So I'm like, all right, whatever. You know, probably didn't want me to go in there because they know how I am. You know what I'm saying? Probably get triggered or something, but actually, it ain't really triggering. You know what I'm saying? Not really, though. You know what I'm saying? But I will say one thing. I will admit that, you know, summertime is really, like, hard for me, only because that's when I always did all my dirt and all that stuff. You know what I mean? Type stuff, you know? So it's kind of like hard at some point. But at the same time, though, it's kind of not, though. You know what I mean? It's kind of alright. But yeah. So, you know what I mean? It's kind of like, nah. At that point. But there is times where I think to myself, man, I wish, like, it's hot out. I wish I had a drink with some ice in it. You feel me? But, like, you know, then, like, my best way, what I do, like, I was walking home the other day from class and I was thinking the same thing like that. And you know what I did? I just stopped and got me a pop. Which made me back to the other point, like, you know, how the best way to figure out if your life become unmanageable, and you know you got a problem, It's like if you look in your wallet, you know what I'm saying, and you like, oh, well, guess what? I ain't got no money in there. You know what I'm saying? You pulling out rent, you know what I'm saying, type stuff. And you like, whoa, you know what I'm saying? This is, you know, and that ain't even just one day. You feel me? One day is cool. You know what I mean? And you like, okay, well, you know, everybody be broke sometimes, you know what I'm saying, type stuff. But 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 or a whole month you broke, bro? Like, you know what I'm saying? And for those that do criminal activity, you know what I'm saying, you may not be broke, but you still like to the point where you like, I gotta go hustle, I gotta, you know, my phone's blowing up, I ain't got no peace and quiet, I ain't got no time for myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, if this was back in the day, like, honestly, I wouldn't be able to sit here like I am now because my phone be blowing up. People be like, where you at? I'll just be, you know what I'm saying? I was addicted to hitting stores and stuff, so I wouldn't be sitting here, be able to sit here and actually be calm. Like, I've been like, oh shit, I gotta go up in here, do this, do that, do that. I gotta go then so I can hurry up and go over here and this and that, you know what I'm saying? And it wouldn't be just like me sitting here chilling. You know what I'm saying? So, but it ain't easy. And I'll tell you that one, you know what I'm saying, for a fact. You know, just like the other day ago, somebody, I was in class and they asked me, like, if I can subscribe my recovery, what, like, in one word, what would I describe it as? I said exhausting. This shit is exhausting. You know what I mean? Like, it's good, don't get me wrong. I wouldn't change it for the world. I would never go back to that life I was at. But, like, honestly, it's shit. It's exhausting. Like, what the heck? You know what I mean? It's like, always trying to fight these demons, trying to fight this, trying to fight that. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, trying, you know what I'm saying? And it's just, like, really exhausting, for real, for real. You know what I mean? But at the same time, it's worth it, you know? And that's the real. But like I said, let me get back to what I was saying. How do you know? Like I said, for one, you broke. For two, that's all you can think about is doing that substance, doing that criminal activity, doing that gambling, doing that, whatever the case may be, that your choice or your thing that you like to do. You feel me? And that's all you can think about, you know? So, like, that's it, you know? That's how and that's the thing. So, like, you know, you gotta ask yourself, like, oh, well, how do I start? You know what I'm saying? How do I start changing? You know what I'm saying? And, like, I've been through this before, but I wanted just to go through it again because it is actually harder than what you think or harder than what they say. You know what I'm saying? I'm a realist, and I'm gonna be real with you and just give it to you straight. You know what I'm saying? You gotta start with yourself by knowing, like, yo, I can change. I don't want to live this life no more. You know what I'm saying? And it's gonna be difficult. But the best thing I can say, and the easiest thing I can say, what's gonna happen, is that you gonna start thinking to yourself that, oh, I'm tired of having to wake up and do this and do that. I'm tired of having to not have no money in my pocket. I'm tired. You just gonna be tired, like, literally. And it's crazy because I'm gonna tell you the same thing. And even in this recovery thing, guess what? You gonna be tired. You gonna be tired too. Shoot, I ain't gonna lie. You know what I'm saying? Shoot, my recovery, I'm like super tired. Like, I'm always busy, and I was busy before. But it's like I was busy before, but I'm like fighting myself too. Because I'm just not becoming in recovery. So I'm fighting my demon, fighting my, you know what I'm saying, this, fighting my that, you know what I'm saying, like, just fighting, period. Like, fighting. And you like, golly, bro. You gotta fight with everything. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, yep, pretty much. Gotta fight with everything, you know what I'm saying? Fight with yourself. Fight with people. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't think you done changed. Fight with this, fight with that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, whoa. Can I get a freaking break here, people? Can I get a break, people? You know what I'm saying? Type stuff. But you can't really get a break. Because the first time that you want a break and you think that you got this, I know a lot of people that always be like, you know, frozen in recovery or whatever, and they be like, oh, I got this. I don't need to go to my AA meetings no more. I got this. You know, I've been in recovery for a year. I've been in recovery for 2 years. I've been in recovery for 3 years. Whatever the case may be, they like, you know, that's their favorite word. Oh, I got this. I'm good. I got this. Especially coming into rehab or out of rehab. You know what I'm saying? People always want to leave early and they're like, oh, I got this. I'm good. I don't need this no more. Be the main one that mess up, that go out there and mess up. You know what I'm saying? Quick as heck, too. Was the recovery already hard, but once you start thinking, oh, you got this, oh, you got, you know, and I think to myself, like, you know, do you really though? Do you really though? Do you really got this though? Like, I you know, and not hating on them, I hope they do got it, you know what I'm saying? But, you know what I'm saying, being in recovery, I know, that is not easy, bro. You know what I'm saying? And most of the time, half the time, you ain't got this. You know what I'm saying? That's a challenge every day. But back to what I was saying, like, how do you know when you need help? Is the question. You know what I'm saying? And when you can call somebody and nobody want to pick up your phone call, because they know that all you gonna do is ask them for something. Like, hey, can I borrow some money? Could I do it? And you know what I'm saying? And they just screen your calls like, oh, I ain't answering that phone call. I already know what he wants. He just wants some money. She just wants some money. You know what I'm saying? Like that, you know, that's a good sign right there that you need help. You know what I'm saying? When you go to the liquor store and the guy at the liquor store know your face by heart. And know exactly what you want. Oh, you want that? Oh, you walk in there, they're like, oh, you want that fifth again? Oh, you want a fifth, right? I got you. You ain't even gotta say something. They ain't gotta ask you nothing. You just automatically, you walk in there, they put your stuff on the counter. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, yep. What up, though? You like, yep. They know exactly what you need. You feel me? So you like, yep, you need help. You feel me? That's just the way it be. You feel me? But like that's then you at that point, yep, you know you need help. You feel me? What up, though? What you up to? You ain't about to grab some food?
Birthday.
Happy birthday.
What's that?
Not in the video.
Okay.
Recovery. So waiting on the. My bad. I was my homeboy here in recovery too. But anyway, like I was saying, so you know what I'm saying. People want to ask your phone calls. Yep. You know you need help. Something's going on. You know what I'm saying? Then this is what I'm just telling you how the ways you know. If you like, you know what I'm saying. If you wake up. If you wake up every day and be like, God damn, bro, I do not want to do this shit again. Like, you act like you feel like you don't want to wake up. Like, you rather be asleep. You feel me? And you be like, yep. You probably need some help. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not normal. You know what I'm saying? I mean, everybody got that point where they're like, oh, I don't want to, you know what I'm saying, be... You know what I'm saying? Waking up every day and shit. You know what I'm saying? But like, the point is like, if you like do that shit every day, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like that's the problem. You know what I'm saying? Life to be enjoyed. And like, I used to think a long time ago that like, you know, oh, I'm enjoying life. I get to do whatever I want. I do this, I do that. I don't got nobody to worry about this and that. But at the same time, it's like, are you serious? I do got shit to worry about. I had people worry about the goddamn cops that's chasing after me. I gotta worry about, you know what I'm saying, my baby mama's all mad at me. You know what I'm saying? My girl all mad at me, you know what I'm saying, because I ain't go home. You know what I'm saying? So even if I didn't have nothing to worry about, the people that loved me had, you know what I'm saying, they was worrying every day. You You know what I'm saying? Now at this point, when I'm in recovery, they know where I'm at. You know what I mean? Even if I ain't come home, they know I ain't doing nothing stupid. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got to worry about looking for the cops or doing this or doing that. You feel me? Because the point is, like, I know what's up. You know what I'm saying? I know I'm not doing, you know what I'm saying, doing criminal activity no more. I don't need to do that. You know what I'm saying? And I can actually wake up and enjoy life. I'm not saying that like I don't get mad or I don't get tired or I don't like be all pissed off or something like that. Because I do, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, this shit is exhausting, you know what I mean? Like for real. But it's exhausting in a good way at the same time. You know what I mean? It's exhausting to the point of like I gotta get all my whole life together. And that's what I'm trying to, you know what I'm saying? That's my whole biggest thing that I've been trying to tell people lately, like, you know, yeah, recovery is great and it's awesome, but don't think that it's gonna be like, oh, sugars and cream and your life is just gonna automatically just come out and be good. You feel me? Like you ain't got nothing to worry about. You know what I'm saying? Because that ain't how that shit work. It ain't how it is. You feel me? So, but you know what I'm saying? Another way that you know that you need help, like I said, besides all the rest of the stuff, is the point of if you can't think about nothing else. You know what I'm saying? If you in your life and that's all you think about is going to gamble, going to do criminal activity, going to, you know what I'm saying? And let me tell you something about criminal activity. A lot of people think that, oh, once they get criminal activity, oh, they got money, they got this and they got that. But I'm going to tell you one thing right now that I'm going through right now. That shit ain't helping, you know what I'm saying? Now that I ain't in criminal activity, guess what? Before, when I was in criminal activity, I bought a car or whatever, y'all, like, I had to pay cash, you know what I'm saying? Straight cash. So, like, you know what I'm saying? Honestly, that ain't get me no credit. I can't go out here and go get a nice car, make payments. It don't matter if I got a good job or not, you know what I'm saying? First of all, you gotta be working there so many months or whatever, years or whatever for that, you know. And then, on top of that, I ain't got no credit. You know what I'm saying? They look at my credit like, yeah. You know, I ain't saying I got bad credit, but I ain't got no credit. And sometimes both of the time, having no credit is just as bad as having, you know what I'm saying, bad credit. You still can't get nothing. You know what I'm saying? So, although I'm doing good, like, me being in criminal activity, you know what I'm saying, most of all my life, you know what I'm saying, now that I'm going back out there, I'm like, what the hell? I'm running into so much stuff, guys, and it's like stressful, you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna lie. This shit is like mad stressful.